Is it
Okay.
possible to be fulfilled with a job but not be happy?
Yes. Yes. Remember, because fulfillment is I can just die content. Like I'm okay with dying. I'm good. I'm okay. So you can feel fulfilled. Happiness is you actually loving life. There's a difference. Like you enjoy life right now.
Not to get too far off of that question, I just wanted to kind of respond to what you were saying previously, and kind of to piggyback a little bit off what Raul said. But one of the main takeaways I got from that last statement was that you have to actually train your brain by practicing to be grateful. It's not a normal, I guess, reaction. Because, like you said earlier, normally we look to see the wrong, the glasses half full.
Yeah.
We're looking for reasons to be almost ungrateful. But after taking that time to learn to teach my actual brain, like from experience, speaking from experience here, it actually does work and it does help because now you're in control of the ability to always shift your perspective based on the thoughts that you think. Now you can almost instantly choose to be happy because you found a reason to be grateful in a sense. Now it's not,
Yeah.
man, like everything's going wrong, but now you can find reasons. Oh, I have a bed to lay in. Yeah, it's a small bed, but I used to sleep on the floor. I remember how much that sucked. So I'm so grateful for the small bed, and that can help add to the happiness. So the takeaway is yes, you always want to work on practicing being grateful. It's not something that just comes easily. It takes effort. Something you have to actually work on.
Yeah. Just like in
Can
a
I ask?
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry, man. Go ahead. I'll ask that after you're done, dude.
Yeah. Just like in a garden where you have to make effort on the plants, but weeds grow naturally. You don't have to water weeds at all. You don't have to do anything. They just grow on their own naturally. And they're the negative things that stop these plants from, right, growing like abundantly. And that's the same thing with our minds. Negative thoughts are like the weeds in our mind that we have to pull out every single day. So
I
you're
like that.
spot on. Yeah. What's up, Raul?
My only question was, Brian, do you want to elaborate on that question? Because I feel like there's more there. Like, kind of go over that. You said, "Can I work a job that I'm not happy with and still be fulfilled?" Was that your question?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand what mentality I should have going in, like into a job, right, or a career choice, because you could be, from what I'm getting from you guys, that even if the job sucks, you can actually come home and still be happy for what you have. So you're not fulfilled with your job, but you are at the end of the day happy because at least you have a job and a home, food and water.
Yes. No, no, I've had this exact question myself in life. The thing about it is you got to also understand that just your job isn't the full story. You know what I mean? Like I worked a really crappy job before what I did now, but I did that for a reason. And it didn't give me fulfillment, but at the same time, I also understood that you're going to have to do things and take jobs and do stuff. If you want to be happy with your job, you're always going to be let down. Or if you're going to be fulfilled with, if you're fulfilled with your job, but you're not happy, it doesn't have anything to do with your job in that scenario. Like you can work an unfulfilling job and still be happy because you have a greater thing in life. I think that's one of the things we kind of think that there's a one answer equals happiness, and I honestly think it's a very complex set of things that you have to meet. Like for me myself, I'm a more totality of a person's life guy, where you have to be in charge of the kingdom. You have to be in charge of this whole shebang. You can work a crap job, shoveling dirt all day, as long as it helps you to do the things that you can find fulfillment in that job. You know,
Yeah.
and then it can also work as long as it's working to your greater goal in life. If your goal is just to have a job that you like, honestly, look a little bit further, man, in that scenario. Like, you're going to work a lot of jobs that you hate, but you aren't your job, you aren't your career. Your career can become a part of you, but for you to seriously be, fulfilled with your job and unhappy, at that point, there's other components. There's your family life, there's your inside, there's a lot of other things that are going to be there. So it sounds like it doesn't make sense, and and you're right in that sense. But at the same time, you also have to look at it's a much bigger, more complex scenario in that point. Like, do you not feel fulfilled or happy with your job right now, or vice versa?
Still probably happy. Not the happiest. No.
Not happy with your job or not happy with life?
Oh, did
I
you
think it
hear?
would be life, actually.
Say that again?
I think it would be life because I'm still able to pick different career choices. So I'm trying to decide where I'm unhappy, and then it's probably more life situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I could barely hear you.
Oh, sorry, the mic was a bit far away there.
Say that again.
So, I believe I can get a job anywhere else, but um, in a sense I'll still be fulfilled. So I'm guessing it's the life portion that is unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So I mean, then what is it that makes you happy with your job? I mean, you gotta kind of start extrapolating because remember, like I said, like, my belief is that happiness is a byproduct of other things in this scenario. It's definitely, it's something that occurs, manifests itself in another way. So I mean, if you feel fulfilled with your job, you feel happy with your job, but you don't feel happy with your life, well, what is it that makes you happy about your job? You know what I mean? You got to start looking at that. How do you process being happy and fulfilled? That's the question.
Yes.
I mean, that's a real deep introspective. It's going to take you probably weeks or months. Some people it takes their whole life. But in all honesty, man, like, if you found a job that you love, you're doing the things that you love, you're still, you're happy with your job, happy with your career, you feel fulfilled, you do something great, you feel like you make a dent in the world there, and you're still not overall life happy. Well, man, I mean, hey, that's one area that you don't got to necessarily worry about. Is it, you start looking in, like, okay, like, I want to lay in bed. Like, I lay in bed at night happy. Like, I smile. And I'll tell you right now, I've spent 30 plus years not being that. And it took a lot of work to figure out what it is that in life that I wanted to achieve. What did I want to experience? What in life, what did I want to do?
What changed for you? Like you said yourself, it was 30 years, going to bed not happy, but what changed for you that, sparked?
The biggest change, man, was figuring out what it is who the hell I was, number one, which is cliche and sounds hokey and whatnot. But at times you have to sit back and you have to be like, well, what is it that I'm not happy about? Like, for me, I wasn't happy about my relationship with my family. For me, I wasn't happy about, what I was doing with my life and my job. For me, it was, why am I affected by these scenarios? Things like that. And I just had to take one piece by piece by piece by piece. And that's not a really good, step A, step B type answer. But the thing is that it's not a step A, step B type, problem. So a lot of it is accepting who I was as a person, what I can do, what I can't do. Like we were talking about earlier, once we start setting these expectations that make no sense, like, probably the biggest thing for me is I felt like a failure because I never really ascended really high in the military when I was in the military. And then I sat down with my therapist, and I told him who I was in a nutshell. And he explained to me, he's like, what did you think was going to happen in the military? You don't like you don't like taking orders. You're stubborn. You're doing this. You're doing that. Why are you beating yourself up for not achieving that in your life? Once I kind of saw that, boom, that was a giant weight lifted off me. Now I can accept Raul as he is, and I can get to learn who he is. And it just kind of extrapolated from there. That's my journey, though. That's me therapy for 4 years. That's me reading a lot of Carl Jung. That's a lot of things in that scenario, and that's not for everybody. So in this situation for you, it's like, you know, you're happy with your job, you know what you like, what you're doing. It's like, well, then what's missing? You know, is it interpersonal? Is it relational? You know, we all want to. You know, there's a lot of guys who want to have kids. A lot of guys who want to have families. There's a lot of guys who want to have more friends. And so you got to start looking like, why don't I? What am I missing here? What can I do to get some help on that? What can I do to make myself a little? What do I have to do? And a lot of it, I'll tell you right now, a lot of it's trial and damn error. Not being afraid to make some mistakes along the way. As long as you don't make too bad of a mistake, you can pretty much learn from it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Brian?
Yeah.
But
It
it's
does.
it's also perspective, right? How we were talking earlier. It's about perception too. Like right now, Brian, whatever job you have, even if you don't like it or don't think that it's going to stay forever, at least one can be grateful for at least I have a job during these times of COVID and, you know, all this stuff. Like at least I have something I can bring, you know, like money back home to, and like I'm being trained better. So I'm getting training as I'm doing this job. Like you can look at all the negatives or you can look at all the positives to keep you fueled for that job. Right? It doesn't have to be the end all be all. It can be a stepping stone to get to the job that you want.